listening to The Drive.
Your Sports 1140 KHTK update, brought to you by J.R. Putman Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Good morning, this is Kyle Madsen with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Bryce Harper sweepstakes is finally over. The 26-year-old inked a 13-year, $330 million deal with the Philadelphia Phillies. There are no opt-outs and a no-trade clause, so it looks like Harper plans on being in Philly for the rest of his career. And the Sacramento Kings tonight play one of the most important games they've played since the last time they made the playoffs. They host the Los Angeles Clippers at 7 o'clock tonight at the Golden One Center. The Kings trailed the Clippers by 2 games in the standings. They're a game back of the Spurs for the number 8 seed. Our coverage starts with game night at 5:30. Kings Live is at 6:30. Tip-off is 7 o'clock. We hope to see you all there. It's 6 o'clock. If you have been injured at work, call the law offices of Doug Moreno at 916-564-4000 for a free consultation. Those are your top stories. Time for The Drive on Sports 1140 KHTK.
To witness the strength of street knowledge.
This program is for mature audiences only.
Please have your fake ID ready.
Get out of bed, you lazy
We found the only way to start the day. Get on the go with radio. We like to use it for household music. The daily chores are never a bore. For weather information, this is the station.
3, 2, 1.
Rise and shine, sleepyhead.
I'm not letting you go to work today.
Wait, what?
Everybody, listen up.
Welcome to The Drive.
Morning, morning, morning.
You're going to talk. Get on the phone at 339-1140.
Pretty awesome, huh?
Jump in on our text line at 441140.
Everyone is talking about it. You must know that.
The Drive starts now.
Hey now. Hey now.
Oh, thank God it's Friday. I enjoy Friday. Best day of the week. We're very excited to be here today. As opposed to other days, we're not excited at all. Welcome into The Drive. 441140 if you want to text us and say good morning. If you have any questions at all, Fridays are always our loosest days of the week, where we'll have the most fun. 1-800-920-1140 is your Fire Wings hotline. 21 different flavors to choose from. Firewings.com. Just wing it. JMR's handling our video stream duties at KHTK.com. It's very simple. Our new KHTK.com. Man, our guys, Mark and everybody working on the site downstairs have really done a phenomenal job. It's so easy to watch the stream now, and we thank Jiffy Lube and the Sacramento Republic Football Club for joining us and bringing that to you. Big day for the Republic, by the way, revealing their new kits today. We'll take a look at those probably Monday. Kits, for those of you who aren't soccer-y, uniforms, jerseys, their 2019 version. Kyle Madsen, plugging away on his phone. What's wrong, Kyle? What's wrong with you this morning, Kyle?
No, I'm just tired.
Yeah.
Been a long week.
You look really beat. I'm not even screwing around. Like, you look beat. I know you had the cat thing. I know you weren't sleeping. How come you haven't been sleeping all week?
I don't know. I just keep waking up in the middle of the night. I think that I know I'm tired.
Mm-hmm. And you did an angry update. I know you didn't notice this, but you should go back and listen to it at the end of the show. Like your update was very aggressive. It's just like, at a news tonight, the thing happened, and Bryce Harper signed, and he made $300 million.
Just really upset about Bryce Harper.
Are you? Is that bothering you?
Yeah, I think I'm so paranoid about sleeping through my alarms.
Yeah.
That my body is waking up.
Is this a new thing?
Yeah.
Why?
It's just this week. Today I woke up at like 2 o'clock and then 3:30.
I mean, you texted me yesterday saying, hey, if you haven't heard from me by 5, text me. But did something happen to make this new, or you just developed this anxiety this week?
No, it's always there.
But it's affecting you.
This week, it's just been a long week with stuff I've had going on. So,
okay.
I I'm more tired than normal.
Is it because Jay's here now?
Yeah.
Because this wasn't happening when Eunice was here.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. I wasn't going to say
Jay's
anything.
keeping you up late at night?
Yes.
With the shower orange?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we got 3 hours, and then you got 2 podcasts to do after.
Yeah.
So I have some trail mix.
Then I get to go right after that. It's great. It's a really fun life.
This is one of the few days where I would actually trade places with you.
Yeah.
Not often. This is one of those days.
Why is that?
I have 7 6th graders making a presentation at a local high school on Saturday in a project they've been working on since November. It's a school project called Odyssey of the Mind.
Right. It's where the smart kids go.
Well, let me just say I have a challenging group of children, of which I am responsible for exactly one of them, my daughter. And I don't want to go into any detail, but last night I found myself quizzing my wife on things she did during our pregnancy with her, and wanting to know if there were ever any nights where she just let loose. Because I was trying to find explanations for why my daughter was, she has a focus issue with this thing. And then they had their dress rehearsal on Tuesday.
Don't 6th graders have focus issues with like a lot of things?
Yeah, I just can't. I don't have any patience.
The project, as you've described it to myself and to Jay, sounds like a project that is way too advanced for a 6th grader.
They're the youngest group at 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. They're all 6th graders. They took the hardest problem. This won't make any sense to anybody, but they have to have some sort of car that they make. It just basically has to propel them 10 feet. They can propel themselves with like oars or something. But it has to fit into 2 suitcases. They have to take the car out of the 2 suitcases, assemble it, propel themselves 10 feet, disassemble it, put it back in the suitcases, walk 10 feet with the suitcases, and then reassemble it and do the final 10 feet, all while doing a skit. And all of this has to be done in 8 minutes or less. It's the hardest of the problems you can choose. And they are the youngest, most inexperienced team. And that's fine. My issue is that, and I don't know if it was this way when I was their age. Now I'm going old man on you, but it's just keeping these kids. They say it's like herding cats. No, this is like herding cats with ADD that are being electrocuted and chased around by mountain lions. Shout out Sac Mountain Lions. It's so, like, honestly, I want to bang all these kids' heads together, and I obviously can't do that. There's laws. So they had this dress rehearsal Tuesday night. It went predictably badly. They've been working on this since November and pretty much had to start back from scratch on Monday. And my daughter was inconsolable and in tears. And I thought, okay, well, you know what? This is going to motivate them for the rest of the week. They're really going to get on it now. That lasted a half an hour the next day. And then it was back to using a dolly as a skateboard and somebody duct taping somebody else's face, throwing goldfish crackers at each other. So they're going to be in front of about 400 people this Saturday, and I'm going to sit there and watch my daughter and 6 other 6th graders most likely get their souls crushed. In the meantime,
sounds like they've earned it.
They kind of have. That's the conversation Melissa and I were having last night.
Life lessons, man.
She said she's very worried about it. I said, you know what? I kind of want this to happen. I don't want it to happen, but sometimes you kind of got to let them fail. Let them fail. Hey, man, when you get older, nobody's going to feel sorry for you. If you're not prepared, life will crush you. Better find out in 6th grade. What I'm worried about is one of the parents coming to me or my wife and saying, because my wife's technically the coach, although I've moved into that now since Monday, and saying, hey, what's going on? How you guys had all these months? How'd this happen? And I will straight up tell him, be like, dude, your kid's a lop. Like, I'm sorry, but your kid sucks. Like, I tried my best.
You know who doesn't suck?
Who?
Vince Harris. It's time to call your local Geico agent, Vince Harris, at 916-923-5050. That's 916-923-5050. It takes a lot of audacity for a parent who was not doing all this to go up to the parent who was doing all this
and
saying, hey, what happened?
You'd think it does, wouldn't you, Kyle? but it tends to happen. I see it happen all the time in my kids' basketball league. They go up to the coach who volunteers his time. They're like, well, why didn't you run this play? Well, you know what, John? Why don't you coach and run the play, Chad?
Hey, run a pin down for Braxton next time.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I noticed that my son Jet was open. Anyway, we have a huge show. We have a big, fat, hairy show today. We got the Kings versus Clippers tonight. It's the biggest game in 14 years for the Sacramento Kings. We have Sean Salisbury, who comes in every Friday at 7:35 to talk to us. Coach Dave Yeager is going to hop on with us at 8:05. And if that weren't enough, how about Sir Lance Woods? 8:35, going to be in studio. That means the entire second half of the show is going to be nothing but guests for you and good A-list guests. And today's question of the day, Kyle, I switched it up. So, Jay, if you got the graphic, trash it. I switched it up at the last minute. Today's question of the day was going to be, is tonight the biggest game in 14 years? But I think that's a dumb question because it is the biggest game in 14 years. It's not really a question. So I switched to something I think more important since we're on a Friday and we're having fun. What movie quote have you said the most in your life? This probably doesn't apply to Kyle. But for those of us that watch movies, what movie quote have you said the most in your life? I stole that from the country guys. And I also have a bonus sub-question for you, if you don't want to do that one. What is the greatest duet of all time? And that doesn't count like Brooks and Dunn or Simon and Garfunkel, bands that are already two people. No, I mean...
like Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga.
Thank you. What's the greatest duet in music history? So I've got not one but two drive questions of the day for you. What movie quote have you said the most? And what's the best duet of all time? When we come back, we have your morning brew.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
The televised portion of the NFL Combine just started.
Uh-huh.
And so I turned it on and I looked up, and I'm watching punters run 40s.
I would probably look at a pay-per-view channel with nothing but that, like punters and kickers.
I also think Punters Running 40s is the name of our band.
Which is more entertaining, punters and kickers running 40s or offensive linemen?
Offensive linemen. There's definitely more to look at. We
got to get to that guy who said he had a 1.6 body fat deal as well that everyone's talking about. I'm not buying it.
Me neither.
Not buying it at all. We'll take a break. We have the Marvin Bagley update. I'm sure you all know, but we'll go over what that means. Kings have a game tonight, and it's a very important one. And Bryce Harper was on the cover of Sports Illustrated at 16 years old. My dad is very proud of the fact that he still has that cover. He's followed Bryce Harper's career since that day, as many other people have. And today he is worth over $250 million before taxes. We'll talk about that next. Sports 1140 KHTK.
You're amazing. Welcome back to The Drive.
It's just my job.
It's time for the Morning Brew. Now, here's Carmichael Day.
Well, Dang drives into traffic, puts up a shot, rejected by Bagley, and Marvin grabs it. Kings push 3-on-3. Marvin going all the way into the twisting reverse, and he scores with a giant stride. Saunders unhappy as he is barking at the lead official, John Goble.
Marvin Bagley doing stuff while we're playing a Marvin Bagley highlight because we will hopefully be hearing Marvin Bagley highlights sooner than some of us feared when we saw him go down versus the Bucks. It is a knee sprain. Bagley will be evaluated in a week. He will be out 1 to 2 weeks. Hey, Kyle, that diagnosis sounds a little familiar. I'm not going to lie. I believe that is the exact diagnosis we laid out.
I tweeted, yep.
Yeah, exactly. We're pretty much medical doctors.
Yeah.
I mean, we said knee sprain.
Mm-hmm.
Reevaluated in a week, probably out 1 to 2 weeks.
Yep.
We nailed it. Like if this was Nostra Injury Damus, A+. You want to know if somebody's injured and what's going to happen before there's even an official MRI, tune into The Drive. I'm very happy about, I mean, obviously not happy that he's hurt, but in the big scheme of things, this was a big sigh of relief for Kings people.
Given that it was basically off the table, they were going to go, yeah, nothing wrong. He'll be back Friday.
Right.
That was off the table. 1 to 2 weeks is the best possible scenario.
It really is. It really is, as you said, given what they were dealing with and what they were looking at. So coming up at 6:30 in our next segment, we'll tell you what that means, what games he's going to miss, and then we need to talk about who's going to step up. We'll have
That's right. New starting lineup segment.
Dave Yeager's going to come on at 8:05, and he's notoriously cagey about starting lineups. And, it's not like we're going to ask Coach, hey, who really needs to step up? He's going to give us three guys.
I think we should do that. Just fly out of the box. Just like, all right, who's starting tonight?
Yeah. Hey, Coach, who's starting tonight? Hey, Coach. Let's just go with he's coming on because we love him and he's a good dude, but he's also doing a charity event tomorrow for his foundation, so we're going to plug that a bit. But it would just be great if he comes on. We just go right out of the box. Oh, so what is the deal with you and Buddy? What was that play with Fox at the end of the Bucks game? And who's starting tonight? Just triple whammy. You think he'd You think he'd make it through the whole thing, or do you think he'd have? Do you think he'd have phone issues?
I think he'd be like, "Come on, I'm not going to talk about that."
Owen.
No, because that's kind of a B word move. Can I say that? Can I say the B word? It's kind of a B word move, and I don't take Dave Yeager for that kind of.
He's
dude.
Not. He'd just get.
I think he'd laugh and be like, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
I'd hope he'd laugh. I hope he'd laugh. It'd be weird if he was just like
straight answers this super seriously. He's like, yeah, Buddy and I have had our differences.
No, what would be worse? What's the deal with Buddy? And I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not really happy you asked that. Silence. Well, so what are you doing tomorrow? We'll talk to Dave at 8:05. We will go over the Marvin Bagley situation at 6:30. Number 2.
Bogey puts on the brink. The Buddy Hield for 3 in the left wing. He's got the triple. 25.9 seconds to go in the quarter. 87-76.
87-76 is what G-Man was about to say. The Sacramento Kings are currently 2 games behind the Los Angeles Clippers for the 8th seed in the playoffs. The Kings have played the Clippers a couple times this year. They lost 122-108 in Los Angeles in their last meeting. They really haven't been particularly close. A lot of that is Montrezl Harrell. They lost 133-121 back on November 29th at Golden One Center. 127-118 on the 26th of December. Also 122-108. So they have, I said 4 times, didn't I? I think I said 122-108 twice. They have gotten beaten 3 times by the Clippers this year.
Pretty soundly.
I was just going to say, and the scores make the game sound closer than they were.
Yeah.
They're going to have to try to find a way to stop Montrezl Harrell, and their best weapon to stop Montrezl Harrell has a sprained knee. Or you don't stop Montrezl Harrell, you only hope to contain him.
Let's be real. Willie Cauley-Stein has all the tools to do what Marvin Bagley does.
He does.
Now he needs to go do it.
And we talked about this yesterday. And
he can. We've seen him do it.
We've seen him do it. This is the most important 20-game stretch of Willie Cauley-Stein's career. There's a lot on his shoulders.
I am rooting so hard for Willie tonight.
I am too. As a Kings fan, I don't know how you can't root for Willie because, quite frankly, I don't think if we get February Willie over the next 20 games, I don't think this team makes the playoffs. If we get November and October Willie,
they'll be all right.
They should be all right. Number 3.
Kicks and he delivers. And Bryce swings and belts into right center field. Herrera going back, way back in the warning track, and the wall. It is gone. Goodbye. Into the Phillies bullpen. Bang, zoom goes Bryce Harper with his 33rd home run of the year.
Bryce Harper is rich. Bryce Harper is rich. And boy, that is a long, long contract. I will be in my mid-50s when Bryce Harper's contract is done. That's just weird. 13 years with the Philadelphia Phillies. What's crazy, well, there's a lot that's crazy about that. No opt-outs. There are no opt-outs. 13 years. His offer from the San Francisco Giants was reportedly 12 years, $310. He got 13 and $330 from the Phillies. A lot of people wondering, well, is it the ballpark? Is it this? Is it that? I can tell you, even in Pennsylvania, before he pays his agent Scott Boras of Elk Grove, he will take home 55.7% of that $330 million. In real numbers, Bryce Harper will make $184 million of the 330. He's being 184 of 330. What kind of world is that? He's going to take home 184. I don't feel bad for him. Listen, it's $184 million, but $330 million.
And he wanted more than that to play for the Giants.
Well, and my guess there is with Scott Boras is that's taxes. California taxes. That is a real thing.
I think he wanted to just be able to afford an apartment in San Francisco.
No. What? No. Don't clap for that, Jay. No. Jingle singers?
That's a good one.
No, it wasn't.
That's pretty solid.
Actually, that's the proper internet thing to do. Anytime a San Francisco athlete or Bay Area athlete makes a lot of money, the immediate joke is, oh, now they can afford a 1-bedroom apartment.
I think you wanted more from the Phillies because of the ballpark.
I think that he would have had more fun playing with the Giants.
Fun with a PH?
Yeah.
We'll take a break. Morning Brew is done. Marvin Bagley is next. MRI results, who steps up, and we'll go over the games he's likely to miss right here on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Now, your Sports 1140 KHTK update. Brought to you by J.R. Putman Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Good morning. This is Kyle Madsen with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Bryce Harper sweepstakes is finally over. The 26-year-old... just dying. It's okay. Don't worry about it. The 26-year-old inked a 13-year, $330 million deal with the Phillies with no opt-outs and a no-trade clause, so it looks like Harper plans on being in Philly for the rest of his career. And the Sacramento Kings tonight play one of the most important games they've played since the last time they were in the playoffs. They host the Los Angeles Clippers at 7 o'clock tonight at the Golden One Center. The Kings trail the Clippers by 2 games in the standings. LA currently holds the number 7 seed. Sacramento's a game back of the Spurs for the number 8 seed. Our coverage starts with game night at 5:30. Kings Live is at 6:30. Tip-off 7 o'clock. Hope to see you all there. It's 6:31. If you have been injured at work, call the law offices of Doug Moreno at 916-564-4000 for a free consultation. Those are your top stories. Now back to the drive on Sports 1140 KHTK. I wonder if Dave fell in.
Highly possible.
Welcome back into the drive. Kyle Madsen filling in for Carmichael Dave, who might be locked in the restroom.
If you're
not ruling it out.
No, if you're following along on the live stream, KHTK.com, great shot of Dave's microphone without him right now.
Yeah.
Hope you're enjoying that.
I legitimately hope he's all right.
Should we text him?
Yeah, I already did.
Okay.
That's fine. We're all good. Oh, here he comes.
Oh, you hear the
him
stomping.
You're just getting hyped. You're getting hyped because the Kings play such an important game tonight.
Can I tell you honestly, and I hope you understand. I hope we have to rejoin, right? I hope you understand.
No, I
already did it. None of this will make sense to anybody listening. So, of course, it's great to spend time on this.
Yeah, perfect. That's good.
But I was just having a conversation with some work friends about how someday somebody in this building who's talented is going to sell a successful TV show or movie based on this building. And here's a fun one for you guys to work on for the day. And again, this has nothing to do with the audience. Think about who the best sitcom characters would be in this building. From all the stations we were at, from all the salespeople, management.
Me, I would be awesome.
The problem with that is that if you did that, let's say you did that and you got successful, everyone would hate you because you'd portray them all weird. Not you, I mean the royal you. Because I would over-dramatize every single person, and then in real life they'd be like, I'm not like that at all. Well, yeah, it's you, but the TV version.
Right.
I feel like everybody has that script in them for a place they work at. I would just say that it's a little different with us because we work with a lot of really big, strange personalities.
Yeah.
I don't know there's too many places in Sacramento that have crazier, weirder, more interesting, more annoying personalities than in a media building. Because this just in, 95% of anyone in media is like 80% nuts.
Yeah, it's like, are you familiar with Bo Burnham? He's a comedian that does like songs.
That's so weird.
What?
I went when I was on my way out on vacation. I stopped in L.A. to see my sister, and my wife, my sister, my brother-in-law went to a place called Largo in L.A.
You went to...
I did.
I'm so jealous. That's so sick.
No.
Largo's legendary.
And we sat in the very back row up against the wall. There's the seats they wanted. They got there early, got the seats, and we saw Anthony Jeselnik.
Uh-huh.
And then, but it was Anthony Jeselnik and Enemies is what it was called.
Huh.
And Jeselnik did his thing in 3 parts. He did part 1, and then he introduced somebody to come out. Part 2, part 3.
Sure.
And the second guy, the first guy, he introduced was your guy Bo whatever. And
I love Bo Burnham. I think he's very talented.
Dude, he comes out and there's a piano and a microphone. Nobody knows what's going on.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't know who he was. And then my sister kind of elbows me and goes, he's the one that wrote 8th Grade. Like he's a real rising star. Okay. And he comes out and he starts singing a ballad. And the first line, the chicken wakes up every morning to the sound of her husband screaming. And I was sold. I was instantly sold on this guy.
Yeah, dude.
And he blew me away.
He's really good.
It's really funny you bring that up.
So he has a special called Words, Words, Words.
Okay.
Where he gets really like introspective about being an artist and stuff. And he's kind of a weird dude, but brilliant, really smart. And he has a line in one of his songs that says, "My drug's attention. I am an addict, and I get paid to indulge in my habit." And man, I relate.
Yeah, a little bit. It is kind of true. And
I feel like a lot of people in this building relate to that.
Very much so. And I think that's a kind of good way to feel. Like you want to have your...
Yeah, it's the whole point.
Right. He's very talented. What was his last? Burnham?
Yeah.
Burnham. Nham. Okay.
Yeah, he's been so he's my age, and I have been watching his comedy and following his comedy since like 2009. He's been doing it. Yeah. Yeah, he was I think 18 when he filmed his Comedy Central Presents. Like he is a talented cat. Got famous on YouTube.
By doing this,
yeah, like little like songs and stuff.
Gotcha. Okay, well, Bo Burnham. That was the segment. We're gonna do the whole segment on Bo Burnham. Let's do a little bit of Kings here. We said Marvin Bagley is out. He'll be reevaluated after a week, probably out 2 weeks. Kyle, we nailed the doctor prediction and the diagnosis. Let me give you what I believe is going to be the games he's going to miss. And again, I'll bet you we nail him. Obviously, he's going to miss this Friday, but before I move on to the other games, I'd like to hear from you, Kyle.
Yeah, it's time to call your local Geico agent. That's Vince Harris, our guy, at 916-923-5050. That's 916-923-5050.
Love Vince Harris.
It's a big Vince Harris house.
So, you almost Tim Rome there. 3 more games left on this homestand. Clippers tonight, Knicks on Monday, and then the Celtics on Wednesday. He'll miss all 3 of those games. They then go on the road and face the Knicks, the Wizards, the Celtics, and the Sixers. Kind of a weird schedule quirk where they face the Knicks and the Celtics. Both times they'll face them this year within a week. And then the Sixers, I said March 15th. I believe the game Marvin Bagley will return for will be March 17th. That's a Sunday when they start their homestand versus the Chicago Bulls.
That makes sense.
Today is March 1st. That's March 15th. That's 2 weeks from today or tomorrow. And then they come home, they play Chicago, Brooklyn, Dallas, and Phoenix. That is a homestand we said they need to go 4-0
on. Unless they sweep the Celtics and beat Philly in Philly, then they can afford to lose one of those.
You're right.
They're going to have to probably sweep that homestand.
So they're going to likely have Marvin Bagley's likely going to miss 7 games. That is a tough deal. But he's going to miss 7, exactly a third of their remaining 21 games. That's what we're guessing. That road trip, we're all counting, Kyle, real quick, yes or win or loss, at New York.
Call it a W.
At Washington.
W.
At Boston.
L.
At Philly.
L.
Okay, and here's what I'm worried about here. We're all calling that Knicks game a win. And we probably should. Of course we should.
Absolutely should.
But here's what I worry about. That is the first game of the road trip, and that is a 9 a.m. start.
Oof.
That is a 9 a.m. start.
All right, so they'll have to do the classic Kings come down from 14. Kings come back from 14 down. That's fine.
9 a.m. Ugh. That's worrisome to me. They should still win the game. But did it have to be 9 a.m.? You couldn't make it 4 p.m.
A noon tip. That's very, very odd.
Noon tip on the East Coast.
Right.
Noon's hard enough. Most of these guys are barely awake, if awake at all, at 9 a.m. You see these guys out there in the first quarter with groggy eyes. They all have a pillow on the bench. Some of them are still, no one's put on their makeup yet. They haven't taken a shower. Some haven't eaten breakfast. Hey, let's play a game. So we think Bagley's going to miss 7 games. We think he'll be back for game 1 of that homestand, starting with the Chicago Bulls. We need to figure out who's going to step up for the Kings as well. We'll do that at 7 o'clock and try to figure out a way how to keep Montrezl Harrell in check when we come back.
Figure out who's going to start tonight as well.
That's a great point. Wish we had the coach on at 8:05. To not answer that question. Bryce Harper signs with the Phillies. We'll break that down as well. And an interesting thing you might have heard yesterday, I know I heard it on the lowdown, about Bobby Bonilla and Bryce Harper that just kind of blows your mind. The Drive continues next. Sports 1140 KHTK.
Here we go. The Drive continues now.
Your phone calls at 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. The Fire Wings hotline, 21 different flavors to choose from. Firewings.com, just wing it. Good morning, Derek.
Yeah, woo, Dave, guys. I'm so happy that Marvin Bagley appears to not have completely destroyed his knee.
Yeah, that's a big woo for the entire fan base, Derek. That was a pin in the balloon of a lot of our hopes, and I think it's a big compliment to Marvin that a 19-year-old kid so much affects this team at the end of the year.
Yeah, and one of the things I just wanted to talk really briefly about is, as fans, and we see these guys go down, we're so clamoring for a diagnostic. And the way MRIs work is that they really don't give you clear pictures while there's intense swelling. And so when I hear he's going to be out for 1 to 2 weeks, that sounds to me like the team is trying to be cautious in terms of putting something out there for the fan base, but at the same time saying, hey, we really honestly will not be able to tell what the heck happened or what's going on in there for about a week or so. The fact that he put up that video on Instagram, was walking around, is really encouraging because he's able to put weight on it. But I wouldn't be surprised if he has to have some sort of arthroscopic debridement or something like that in the offseason. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in the interim during those games that he plays, because if it's positive, I could see him coming back, and it'll be interesting to see how much momentum he can use to jump off of that leg versus if it goes completely horribly wrong, that maybe they shut him down and they do basically what they did with Bogdanovich at the end of the summer last year, where they get in there, scope it, take a look around, and then say, hey, let's use this 6 weeks of recovery in the offseason so that he can then start working out and get ready for the next season.
Oh, I hope it's the former. I hope that he's able. The Kings are going to be extra cautious with him, and they've shown that with all their players. And fans know that when players are resting or out for load management or whatever, you're going to see this team lean on the side of caution. And I think some of that may have to do with how they do in these next few games while he's out. Bryce Harper signed a huge contract. I love this clip that was just posted from a Philadelphia news station. It's the man on the street type of interview talking about Bryce Harper signing that contract. In this case, it's the lady on the street being asked. Looks like she's holding a hot dog in her right hand, just trying to go to work, minding her own business when she's asked about Bryce Harper.
$330 million. The whole team? No, for one person. What? Ain't none of that.
$330 million for the whole team? No. One guy. Oh, amen to that. Good for him. Not for nothing, by the way. Just some notes to clean up here. We'll get back to Bryce Harper. Congratulations to Dabo Swinney. Clemson has paid him more than $6.8 million in salary and bonuses just for last season. Today, he received a $1 million completion bonus. It's just the news I have in front of me. Congrats to Dabo Swinney.
How do you... Never mind.
Bryce Harper's deal isn't even in the top 10 of average annual baseball salaries when factoring for inflation. Number 1. I'll start behind that. Number 10, Justin Verlander.
Factoring in inflation?
Yeah.
Factoring for inflation?
Yes.
Is the name of Darren Rovell's garage band.
Funny, this is a tweet from Darren Rovell.
Yeah, obviously. Very obviously.
Manny Machado at 30. Cabrera at 31. Max Scherzer, 31.8. A-Rod, 32.2 back in 2008. We'll go all the way to the top 3. Clayton Kershaw at 32.6. Zach Greinke at 36. And once again, Alex Rodriguez in 2000, number 1, $36.8 million.
Alex Rodriguez got multiple $250 million contracts. I know one of them didn't get completed.
One of them was $252. The other was $275. Kyle, those are the number 4 and number 5 biggest contracts in pro team sports history.
And he did that in like the 2000s.
One was in 2000. The second was in 2008.
Ridiculous.
The third largest contract was just signed to Manny Machado. Giancarlo Stanton at $325. And Bryce Harper, the Phillies, at $330. Obviously, all 5 of those are baseball contracts. So here's what's interesting. You ready? Guaranteed money, contract-wise. Matt Ryan, $100 million. Aaron Rodgers, $98.2 million. Matthew Stafford, $92 million. Those are the top 3 largest contracts by guarantee in NFL history. When you add all 3 of those contracts' guaranteed value together, Ryan, Rodgers, and Stafford combined will receive $290.2 million, which is behind both Manny Machado and Bryce Harper alone. Play baseball, kids. And that's why when I see what Kyler Murray's doing, I go, okay. I mean, I guess you got to chase what you love, but it's a real thing. I'm not making light of it at all. Not a ton of CTE in baseball. Yeah. Not a ton of after effects in baseball when you compare it to football. Oh, and the money is all guaranteed, and it's better.
Hey, he's doing what he loves, man. He's going to get to start probably next year or the year after. He doesn't have to toil around in the bus leagues.
Okay.
That's the decision he made.
The annual average household income in Philadelphia is $41,500. Bryce Harper will make $44,929 per plate appearance. That's obviously going on his averages from his career.
That can't be right.
$44,929.
Oh, you said $44 million.
Did I say million?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
not
right.
That's for sure not right.
44. Let's call it $45,000. Every single time Bryce Harper goes to the plate. 1-2 pitch, grounded to shortstop, over to first, and Bryce Harper is out. $45,000. The 3-1 fly ball deep center field and caught. $45,000.
I would never be mad that I made an out.
Right.
If that was the case.
$45,000.
Oh, and he pops up with the bases loaded in a 1-run game and 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. He pops up to the shortstop, and the game is over.
$45,000.
Kyle, how do you feel? Oh, I made $45,000 popping out to short. So,
Finally, when Bryce Harper gets his final paycheck from the Phillies in 2031, Bobby Bonilla will still be 4 years away from his final paycheck from the Mets.
Hey, did you play the how old will you be when Bryce Harper's contract ends?
Yeah, I'll be in my almost in my mid-50s.
I'll be 41.
Okay. Would you like to know? Go ahead.
I'll almost be your age.
Shut up. Would you like to know how old Bobby Bonilla will be when Bryce Harper's contract runs out?
74.
69.
Nice.
Which also is the pick Jason Witten was in the draft. It's also the amount of career receiving touchdowns Jason Witten had.
I believe C.J. Beathard was the number 69 pick.
Jason Witten was the 69th pick. Jason Witten?
No.
Was the 69th pick in the draft.
Okay.
He finished career with 69 receiving touchdowns. His career long was a 69-yarder. You're saying C.J. Hold on, dude.
Never mind. C.J. Beathard went 104.
But I'm tripping. C.J. Beathard, right?
Uh-huh.
Was in the same draft as Jason Witten?
No.
What am I missing?
I just thought I thought we were doing draft picks. You went number 69.
Oh, okay. No. We'll take a break.
Don't worry about me.
When we come back, Marvin Bagley had his MRI. We'll update you on that. We got to figure out how to keep Montrezl Harrell in check. It's up to you and me, Kyle. And we'll go with our matchup of the game playoff update as well. Kings next. Sports 1140 KHTK.